He doesn't just watch the market, he is the market. People give him equity out of respect. In his last life, he was himself. He is the most knowledgeable man in the world.
I don't always invest, but when I do, it's in the future. Stay dangerous, my friends.
You know, it was a time where we had less, but we had more. And today it feels like we have more, but we have less. Does that make sense? It's like at a time where all of the odds were against us, we had the most resilience, we had the most unity, we had the most love, and we had really the most power. And when I look today, we have more resources available to us than we ever have. Everything is free. Anything you want to do can be done like that. But it feels like we have less. Feels like we detached. It feels like we really don't even have a culture. It's almost like we're living on this nostalgia of what our culture used to be based on how we perceive it. But there is no real culture because there's no real community. The community now has become our phone. And so now we mimic whatever the most popular or trendy thing going on instead of what is actually happening in our community because there is no community. And so we really detach from one another right now in a way that makes us weak and makes us vulnerable to everything that's happening. Because every problem that we have is on public discourse. And so anybody that has a problem with us can plan, plot, and strategize because they know what's going on. We don't communicate. Honestly, we're not even worrying about them because we're too busy fighting ourselves. We've completely submitted to the propaganda. We've completely submitted to the bots that constantly pit us against one another and tell us how we are no good for one another and how we are evil and hate one another and make the most ridiculous, insidious statements possible to keep us in conflict when we are all struggling and we don't even see what's going on. And, you know, most recently, I came from this economic conference that really had some powerful conversations and some innovative things that are happening in the world, and I'm excited to see it. But when the question arose, where do we start? It was difficult for anybody to answer because the people that do care feel like they got to do everything themselves. Where do we got to start? Right? How do we help all of these people? And I'm looking around the room, and everybody there is wealthy. Everybody there is successful. Everyone there has achieved a certain level of financial success based on their own work ethic. That requires a mindset. That requires a certain way to think. And so for me, we asking the wrong question. For me, the question is, how do we scale a mindset? How do we recreate a mindset and scale it to capacity among our community? How do we get the collective to think in unison so that we can all take advantage of this economic opportunity? We can all, in cohesion, right, uplift ourselves. How do we scale a mindset? Because it has been scaled against us for the last 50 years. 50 years ago, our households were married at an 80% clip. Two-parent households brings economic stability, brings cohesion, and it creates a vertical pipeline in the family, in the lineage. Now we at a 25% clip, 30%. You telling me we just decided against that? Or were we conditioned by the propaganda to think a different way, to have a certain mindset? We all know we were. 50 years ago, there was a certain form of solidarity that we share with one another, that we prioritize. Today, we're against each other more than ever. And so, the biggest question that I have to figure out is, how do we reverse that? How do we re-propagandize ourselves with the understanding of what is going to benefit not us personally, but us as a whole? The more we individualize ourselves and focus strictly on capitalistic success, the more that we destroy the group. If this was just about money and all I wanted was money, and that's the only focus is my economic success, and I don't have any vision beyond that to expand the hope of my people, then it's at the destruction of my people. That's the way I feel about it. And so, how do you scale that way of thinking and repatriotize us towards our own identity? How do we do that? Because right now we spend 2 weeks arguing about Meg Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson. Right now we still standing in line for Jordans. While they taking rights, not even behind our back anymore, right in front of our face. They're doing things right in front of our face. And you telling me that we don't have enough fortitude to organize and galvanize and put ourselves together and say, whatever this foolishness is that we're talking about, we have to focus and figure out how to protect ourselves. We are that distracted that we don't even see what's going on. And so, again, in the past, we had less, but we had more. And today, we got way more, but it feels like we have less. We got to go get it back.
If God is for us, then who the is against us?
Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and think the man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and think the man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and think the man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and think the man up top.
Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot.